Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us again. You sent over some articles about the future of banking, and wow, this stuff is seriously interesting.
It is, isn't it?
It really seems like you're curious about this whole question of how banks are adapting to the digital world.
Yeah.
And what I think is even more interesting is, can good design actually boost a bank's bottom line?
Yeah. That's the question, isn't it?
Well, let's dive in. A lot of these articles you sent over are from UXDA,
Uh-huh.
and they're a financial UX design company.
All right. So they should know what they're talking about.
Exactly. So it seems like we're getting insights straight from the source. And from what I've seen, get ready for some surprises, because this deep dive is all about the intersection of user experience and emotional design and, guess,
The big one.
cold hard cash.
Exactly.
So,
What I find really fascinating is just how much emphasis is being placed on this whole idea of the digital experience now.
right.
It's not even just online banking anymore. It's like you said, it's about creating an experience
Yeah,
that really resonates with people.
totally. And I get it, right? Like digital banking, that's the norm now. But what I found really interesting about these articles that you sent over is how central UX has become.
Yeah.
It's like I remember when banks used to compete on who had the most impressive building,
Right.
like back in the day. But now it's all about
Whose app is the most user-friendly?
exactly.
It's a whole new ballgame.
It really is.
The source material actually calls digital platforms the new branches,
I like that.
which I think makes perfect sense.
It does.
Because when you think about it, when was the last time you actually stepped foot inside of a bank?
right, like for most of us, it's all about our phones and our laptops now.
Exactly.
Exactly. And these articles go way beyond just online banking. We're talking about some serious tech here,
We are.
like AI
Yeah.
revolutionizing everything from customer service to even like how transactions are processed.
Mm-hmm.
One article I think mentioned that integrating AI could boost profits by like 31%
Yeah, by 2035.
by 2035,
Yeah, they say,
which is huge. But what does that actually look like?
let's go to the question.
Right. Is it about faster loan approvals? Is it hyper-personalized advice? Or is it something else entirely? What really jumped out at you from these articles?
I mean, you're right to question what's happening kind of behind the scenes with this, because
Yeah.
it's not just a matter of plugging in an AI and watching the money roll in, right?
Right.
The articles suggest that AI's real power is its ability to analyze these massive amounts of data and to identify patterns that we as humans could never even hope to spot.
Right.
And this leads to things like more accurate risk assessments, personalized financial advice, and even the ability to kind of predict future market trends.
So it's like having a super-powered financial advisor,
In a way, yes.
working behind the scenes, 204/7 crunching numbers, spotting opportunities.
Exactly.
No wonder banks are so eager to jump on board with this.
Of course.
But it's not just about AI, is it? The rise of mobile banking was a big focus in what you sent over.
Absolutely. Mobile has become the dominant channel for retail banking these days.
Yeah.
And it's not really surprising, is it?
No.
I mean, our phones are practically glued to our hands these days.
They are.
They offer this unparalleled convenience. You can manage your finances anytime, anywhere.
Totally.
But it's not even just about convenience. It's about leveraging the power of mobile technology to make a more personalized and engaging experience for the customer.
And speaking of convenience, I was blown away by this statistic about the growth of subscription-based banking services.
Yeah.
A whopping 400% over the past 8.5 years.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It makes you wonder what's next.
Yeah. Where do we go from here?
Could we see a future where we're subscribing to very specific banking features,
Yeah.
like fraud protection or personalized financial advice?
It's entirely possible.
What do you think?
I think it speaks to a larger shift in consumer behavior in general.
Okay.
People are becoming more accustomed to paying for services that offer real value and convenience,
Right.
even in areas that were traditionally dominated by like one-time purchases or fees.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see banks experimenting with more subscription-based models in the future,
Yeah.
especially as they try to differentiate themselves and appeal to these tech-savvy customers.
Totally. It's like the Netflix-ification of everything, right?
Exactly.
But, okay, so we've established that digital is definitely reshaping the banking landscape. But where does user experience fit into all of this?
Right.
It seems like UX, it's more than just a buzzword now. It's a make or break factor for banks.
I think you hit the nail on the head. UX is the face of a bank in the digital age.
I see that.
If a customer's main interaction with you is through an app,
Yeah.
that app becomes the bank.
Yeah,
A clinky, frustrating app will send your customers running to your competitors.
for sure.
whereas a smooth, enjoyable experience builds trust and loyalty.
It's not just about offering a functional app, is it?
No, not at all.
It's about crafting an experience that's genuinely enjoyable.
Yeah,
Delightful, even.
I think so.
And that's where this idea of emotional design comes in.
Okay.
What exactly does that mean in the context of banking?
So emotional design, it's all about making people feel something positive when they interact with a product or a service.
Right.
And in banking, it's about moving away from those cold, impersonal transactions.
Right.
You know, the ones from the past.
Yeah.
And creating experiences that are engaging and reassuring.
Yeah.
And even, dare I say, fun.
Right.
Because no one actually enjoys thinking about their finances, do they?
I hear you. But when an app makes it easy and maybe even, I don't know, a little bit enjoyable,
Yeah.
it probably takes some of the dread out of managing your money, right?
It does.
The articles mentioned that banks using emotional design saw something like a 15% rise in cross-selling
Wow.
and a 20% drop in customer churn.
That's significant.
Those are some pretty impressive numbers.
They are.
What do you make of that?
I think it shows that investing in good UX,
Yeah.
it's not just about making your customers happy.
Yeah,
It's a smart business move.
for sure.
When you can create a positive emotional connection with your customers,
Uh-huh.
they're more likely to trust you,
Okay.
engage with your products and services,
Right.
and ultimately just become more valuable to your business.
It's like that old saying, people buy from people,
Yeah.
even in the digital world. I think
Right.
we're drawn to experiences that feel human and engaging,
Yeah,
emotionally resonant.
for sure.
And these articles had some great examples of banks actually getting this right.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for instance, Revolut using real-time notifications
Right.
to give users a sense of control and security.
Right.
Was that something that you found particularly interesting?
I did, because it's a perfect example of how even a seemingly small design element
Yeah.
can have a huge impact on the user experience.
Yeah.
Because those instant updates,
Yeah.
they really tap into our desire for immediate feedback
Right.
and reassurance, and they make us feel more confident and secure in our financial decisions.
Yeah. It's the difference between like constantly checking your account balance
Yes.
with anxiety
With anxiety.
versus feeling calm and informed about your spending habits, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. And then there's Monzo with their in-app communities,
Yes.
where customers can actually connect with each other,
That's interesting.
share experiences.
That's like they're turning banking into a social activity.
It is.
What do you make of that approach?
It's a really clever strategy, I think, because by fostering that sense of community,
Yeah.
Monzo's really transforming banking from this solitary activity into something much more engaging
Yeah.
and social.
Right.
And this approach, I think, can be incredibly powerful, particularly for younger generations
Yeah.
who are already accustomed to connecting with others online.
Right. It's like choosing to bank with your friends
Exactly.
and creating a sense of shared experience and belonging.
For sure.
And that sense of community can be a really powerful motivator.
I know I'm more likely to stick with a service if I feel like I'm part of something larger,
Of course.
but not every bank is taking that community route.
Right.
The articles also mention Starling Bank,
Yeah.
which is really focused on integrating a wide range of financial services all into a single platform.
Okay.
Is that another aspect of emotional design, do you think?
I think it is. And while it might not seem as emotional on the surface,
Yeah.
providing that really seamless and integrated experience, it speaks to our desire for simplicity and convenience.
Okay.
Starling Bank recognized that people were using multiple apps,
Right.
multiple platforms just to manage their finances.
Yeah.
And it was leading to frustration and overwhelm.
Yeah, for sure.
By creating that one-stop shop.
Right.
They're simplifying their customers' lives.
Yeah.
And reducing their financial stress.
Okay.
And that in itself can be a really powerful emotional benefit.
It can. It's like having a financial Swiss Army knife right in your pocket. Speaking of clever features, though, their articles mention a few other banks that are doing some really interesting things with their digital platforms.
Yeah.
Anything else catch your eye?
Well, BBVA caught my attention
Okay.
with their use of gamification.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they found a way to make managing your money more interactive
Uh-huh.
and even a little bit fun,
Yeah.
which can be a real game changer when it comes to building those positive financial habits.
Gamification, I love it.
Yeah,
It's like sneaking in a little learning and engagement while you're just like checking your balance.
exactly.
Did the articles give any specific examples of how BBVA is actually using this?
Yeah, they mentioned things like you can set savings goals,
Okay.
And then you earn badges or rewards for reaching them,
I like that.
or using quizzes and interactive tools to teach users about different financial concepts.
Okay.
So it's all about making something that could feel like a chore,
Yeah.
like budgeting or tracking your spending, feel more engaging and rewarding.
Right. It doesn't feel like a chore anymore.
Exactly.
It's amazing how a few well-placed game mechanics can really change that whole dynamic.
It really is.
But it's not all fun and games, is it?
No, it's not.
Security is obviously a huge concern in the digital world, and some of the articles touched on how banks are addressing that through UX as well.
AR? Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
Well, USAA, for example,
Okay.
has been recognized for its early adoption of voice and biometric authentication.
Okay.
And while these features might seem purely functional at first glance,
Yeah.
they really contribute to that feeling of security
Right.
and
Yes.
control,
Right.
which is so important for building trust with users.
That makes sense. It's like knowing your banking app is protected by your fingerprint.
Exactly.
Or even your voice.
Yeah,
Probably does wonders for your peace of mind.
it really does.
It's not just about preventing fraud, it's about making users feel safe and secure.
Exactly.
And that's a really important distinction.
It is, because that feeling of security can be incredibly empowering. It allows users to really focus on what matters
Managing their finances,
Exactly.
achieving their goals.
without that added stress of worrying about security breaches and things.
Yes, exactly. And on that note of reducing financial stress,
Yeah.
one last example that I really liked was Chime with their automated savings tools,
Oh, yeah.
rounding up transactions and tucking away spare change.
It's a great idea.
It's such a simple idea, but it just takes a little bit of the friction out of saving,
It does,
which can be a big hurdle for a lot of people, I think.
for sure.
What are your thoughts?
I think they've identified a real pain point there
Yeah,
and designed a solution that seamlessly integrates into people's lives.
totally.
It's not about forcing people to make these drastic changes.
Right.
It's about making it effortless to save a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah,
And you're right, those small amounts really do add up.
they do. It's like that old saying, look after the pennies and the pounds will look after themselves.
Exactly.
But for the digital age.
I like it.
This whole deep dive has been incredibly eye-opening.
It has.
It seems like the future of banking really belongs to those who can create experiences that aren't just functional,
Right.
but emotionally resonant as well.
Yeah, you've got to connect with people on that deeper level.
We've said it before, and I think this really just proves it.
It does.
UX is absolutely critical in this new landscape.
Absolutely critical.
And it's exciting to think about what innovations are yet to come.
It really is.
And on that note, a final thought for all of you out there listening.
Okay.
If you were designing a banking app, what's one feature or one element that you would prioritize
Okay.
to make a truly exceptional user experience, something that would make you say, wow, I love banking with these guys?
I love it.
Let us know. We'd love to hear your ideas.
Let's hear them.
That's it for this deep dive into the world of digital banking.
That's a good one.
It was a good one. Until next time, keep those curious minds engaged, and we will catch you in the next episode.